Hey there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really fun 40th birthday party centerpiece. A friend of mine asked me to do the centerpieces for her big 40th birthday party. A much older friend, might I add. And I was happy to. Of course, last minute Sally here didn't get to it till today, and her party's in 2 days, and I'm a little rough around the edges. My kids have been on vacation, so I'm going to show you this project. It's going to be a lot of fun, but if I'm a little, whoo, that's why. Today's video is sponsored by Papermart. That's where I got a lot of these fabulous supplies. And if you're throwing a party, decorating for a party, or even, you know, making a gift for a party, you really ought to check out Papermart. They're online at www.papermart.com. They have the best prices, best selection, and you can get what you want, and you can find what you want. No surprises. You know exactly what you're getting. The first thing we're going to do today is take a mason jar. I gotta tell you, I was planning on cutting off some wine bottles and making some glittered vases, but every wine bottle I tried to crack just wouldn't crack. I think the glass was thicker. So I had to go into plan B, and I thought, what can I use for the vases for these? I don't want to run out to town with all my kids. I gotta think of something, and of course any crafter worth their salt has mason jars. So I had half a dozen of these exactly in my basement, and they were just perfect for this project. First thing you want to do is either get or make some paper shred, and I have this little hand crank paper shredder that I use to make quilling strips and shredded paper whenever I need it. This has already been crunched up a little bit. So I'm just going to take some of this and ball it up and put it in my mason jar. Easy peasy. Just kind of, you might want to kind of work it around. You don't want it in there too tight because you're going to have to stick those skewers in. And I like to kind of just crinkle it up so I get a little texture to it. It looks nicer that way. All right, now we're going to use some tulle, and this is going to help disguise the fact that this is a mason jar. I know mason jars are super trendy right now. I'm getting about 4 feet here. But for this modern bouquet, I really wanted to have it not look so down home and country. So that's why we're using the black, we're using the hot pink. Those are the birthday girl's favorite colors that she wanted to use. So we are going to do this nice modern twist on a classic design. I've wrapped this around about 3 or 4 times, and you get a nice shock of color with this tulle when it's bunched up like that. So that's really nice. And you can trim this back if you wanted, but I like that kind of, like, I don't know, reminds me of Grease, like, you know, what was it, the Pinky Tuscadero with her cool thingy scarf. I like it. I'm leaving it. She can cut them off if she doesn't like it. I won't be offended. Alright, so I'm going to shove those little stragglers in there. And I'm going to take some of this polka dot tulle, which is nice and showy. I really like it. I need about 2 feet of that. And I'm going to tie it around the middle so it covers up the pattern on the jar that says Ball Mason. I want to cover that up. I don't want to see that. And I'm going to have the knot so it's on the opposite side of the knot on the top. So let's just tie that on there. Let's tie one on, shall we? Alright, here we go. A little rough around the edges for sure. Whew! Went roller skating yesterday. That was fun. I'll do a lot of fun little vacation things when the kids are home from school. Never go to a roller skating rink on my own, but you know, it's okay to be on roller skates if you've got, like, you know, 4 kids with you. Alright, so now I'm going to put a label on the front of this mason jar. And what I did, I'm going to show you this here because I'm going to offer it on my blog for free if anybody wants it. It's a sheet of just printable labels. You could use them for centerpiece or on cake or whatever. It says 40 is fabulous, but instead of just having it plain, I glittered it, and it was really easy to do. All I did was I took this clear Tombow aqua glue, and I just put glue on the pink area of the 40, and then I sprinkled it with Papermart Ultrafine Hot Pink Glitter. I love their glitter because it really covers well. It doesn't flake off as well because it's really, really fine, and it just gives you a nice, elegant look. I don't use stickles too much because I find that I'm always sticking my hands in the stickles before they're dry, and at least when you're putting glue down and you're sprinkling glitter, it's not completely wet at the top like your stickles would be. So I actually gave all my stickles to the kids to use because I would rather use glue and glitter. So I'm just going to hold that for a second with my low temp hot glue. I've adhered it with low temp glue, hopefully not crooked, and that's going to keep it on there really well. But you can see that it's nice and glitzy, and the fact that there's pink printing underneath, if it skips, if the glue isn't, if the coverage isn't great, it doesn't matter because it's going to look good. So you can kind of see the difference if I didn't glitz it and if I did glitz it. And you know, if there's just a little bit of ambient light at this party, it's just going to really show off and look really nice. Okay, our jar is done. That was easy, wasn't it? Okay, so now we're going to make the little, now I want to do photo props. I thought it would be really fun to have these different things in the jar that, maybe even put some disposable cameras on the table and people could just take funny pictures of each other, kind of like photo booth style. I mean, it's going to be a fun time. The woman who this party is for is just a really fun gal, and is just perfect for her. So what I'm doing is using hot glue to adhere a mask. This is kind of like a superhero style mask onto this mat. So just with my hot glue gun on the low temperature setting, I am adding a little hot glue, sticking it onto the mask back, and then I'm going to add a barbecue skewer. You've got to have, if you're a crafter, if you do a lot of parties, you've got to have barbecue skewers in your craft stash. You'll use them so much, and a big bag is 99 cents at the grocery store. And then I am going to take some feathers, and I love these feathers. They're also from Papermart. They're turkey feathers that have been dyed. They're byproduct of the meat industry, so, you had the Thanksgiving turkey, and now you got, a use for the feathers too. But I really like that the colors are uniform, and you can get a bag of all the colors that you want. You don't have to get an assortment and just use 3 of the feathers. You can get just a big bag of what you want. And I'm going to adhere the feathers to the mask. So what I'm doing here, I want to kind of put one on each corner. I have no room to set my tripod on my table. That's why I have to film it like this today. Isn't that awful? And I'm just going to put a little more glue, so I have some glue for the black feathers. They come in a couple sizes, large and medium. And it's nice, so if you know that you're doing like maybe a scrapbooking project and you want smaller feathers, you can just get the assortment with the smallers. If you're doing like a centerpiece and you want larger feathers, you can get the larger ones. I've got glue dripping all over the place. It will be a miracle if I don't have all my stuff with hot glue strings on it. I know I shared my hot glue tip before, but I'll share it again in case you missed it. If you're using a hot glue gun and you're getting glue strings everywhere, after you're done your project, if you just zap it with like a heat gun or a hair dryer, then it'll make the glue strings disappear. They just kind of shrink up, and I don't know where they go, but they're not on your project anymore, so that's pretty cool. So there we go. I am super crafty party lady. Pretty cool, huh? This is gonna be a fun party. All right, so then you just stick that into your base. I gotta move that out of the window because you won't be able to see me. Oh no, we don't want that in high definition. I don't know if I'm putting this in high definition. I'm way in front of the camera, way too much for that. Alright, so and also we're going to do the exact same thing to make the crown, the tiara. This would also be a really fun centerpiece for a bachelorette party. That would be really, really fun, wouldn't it? And even the color scheme, you just got to change the, instead of 40 is fabulous, you'd have to put something very ooh la la on there. Something very bride-to-be and sassy. Alright, and I am devil may care attitude about the glue strings. I'm just getting it done. BBQ skewer. And I'm also going to put this, the stick on the opposite side. So this is on this side. So this one's going to be on this side. Going to have it opposites. So that they hang, when they hang on the centerpiece, they're kind of filling it out evenly. And I do have to hang on to it for a second while the glue cools. Now, I wanted to make these a little shorter because when I put the tall kind of wand rosette in there, I want that to stand up above everything, and all my skewers are the same length. So what I'm doing is getting my cruddiest old pair of pliers, and I am just going to snip off about the bottom 1.5 to 2 inches. See? Works like butter. So easy. I'm telling you, these pliers, I think they're probably $1, or maybe it was in a kit that was like 4 pair for $1. Very, very cheap. But I use them for all these jobs like this, or like taking a can of wax out of a double broiler. The stuff you just don't want to use your own hands or your good tools for. I'm going to stick those in there. And then for my mustaches, I'm going to keep them kind of tall. I'm going to put a big one and a little one in each bouquet here. So these, I cut these out of glitter paper just so they have a little bit more blingy bling. Because mustaches are so trendy, just like mason jars. I mean, this is like Trendorama today. So this is just going to go in this, this bouquet of silliness as well. And then finally, to do the rosettes, what you want to do, and I think I can catch this in the light, basically I have this 4-inch by 12-inch piece of paper, and I have scored it on my score pal. I scored it every 1/2 inch. And now I'm simply accordion folding it. It's riveting, folks. And that's how we're going to get our little rosette there. So I was able to get 3 rosettes from 1 sheet of 12 by 12 paper. So that was like, I'm making 6 centerpieces. So I mean, 2 sheets to do all those rosettes is not bad. It is a little easier to make a rosette with a piece of scrapbook paper or construction paper because it's not as thick as cardstock, but the cardstock is going to be a little more durable. Plus this is the same color I used for the mask, so I wanted it to match. Alright, so after you get your your accordion stack of the paper here, you're going to kind of bend it up so it's like, and bend it down so it's like a bow tie. Because bow ties are cool! Woo! Stetsons are cool. Fezzes aren't cool. Oh, obscure Doctor Who references. Gotta love it. Rough around the edges. Didn't I tell you, folks? Alright, so now I got this awesome bow tie. I want to glue in between the bow tie left and right side. I don't even know what to call it, but this is what you do anyway. Alright, don't forget to have a few extra glue sticks on hand. If you watched my craft room tour, you know I've got plenty of glue sticks on hand. Thanks, Mom. Oh, my mother got me a 25-pound box of glue sticks for Christmas. It was awesome. Loved it. Alright, oops, I need to add a new glue stick in there. By golly. There we go. This is, my glue gun is to my left and I'm right-handed, so it's not ideal. One of these days I'm going to go to the dollar store and buy an extension cord. Good goodness, I never think of it. Well, that's a thing. God, Lord knows about the dollar store at least once a week. After something. Okay, so then you got this. See? Alright, hope you're seeing. I know it's not close up, but you know, I think you can get the gist. Alright, and then when I was die cutting my masks, out of the scraps, I die cut 40, the number 40. And I just punched these shapes out of some of the black scraps. That's what I do when I'm done die cutting something. I look at the paper, and if there's any scrap at all, it's just hot glue there. I punch out what I can, because especially these shapes like this flourish square or a scallop circle or a regular circle, I know I'll use it again. I know it'll be very handy when I'm making up kits for kids' classes, or if I'm just, you know, wrapping a gift, I need a quick tag. But put a little glue right here, and then I'm going to stick another one of those medallion shapes on the back. And I'm just going to hold it for a minute while it dries and just kind of squeeze the edges so that the pleats are pretty even around. There are other ways to make rosettes. This is the way I do it. So, you know, you may do it a different way, and that's fine. Do it however you like to. Now the barbecue skewer, you want to make sure it's coming out of the bottom of the 40. That's on there a little crooked, but I think we'll be fine. So I'm going to glue this on the back like that. Just a little bit of hot glue in between the pleats. It'll stay on really nice. And while that's cooling, I'm going to just cut off a piece of polka dot tool just to glue to the back here to give it this little fluffiness, this little fluffy goodness. What do I do with that? Here it is. Polka dot tool. Rough around the edges. I warned you. I totally warned you. Alright, so I'm going to fold this in half like so. Put a big old gob of glue on the back. Squeezy, squeezy, nice and generous. And without burning my hands off, I'm going to stick this into the glue. Don't burn your hands off. That should go without saying by now. And I'm just going to hold it until the glue sets. Now what else do we need? Gosh, you know what? We're almost done. Now when I go to put these on the table, assuming that I'm the one that does that and the birthday girl doesn't, who knows? It's just a surprise. I don't know. Whee! So I got these really nice shiny black flat-backed marbles from papermart. So what I do is I just kind of throw them down there on the table. Maybe I'd put like a mirror tile underneath, and I would set that right on top, and you can't even see that. Let me move that back a little bit so you can actually see that. I can barely see my monitor from here. A little picture on my camera. Okay, maybe you can see those marbles. Maybe, I think you can. Let's hope. If not, I'll put a picture up there and you can see it. And I would just set my centerpiece in the middle. If you had a mirror on the bottom, maybe a couple electronic tea lights because you don't want to catch your tool on fire, that would be very pretty. Very chic. Alright, so there is my 40 wand. Now I want this a little taller. So what I'm going to do is actually glue a popsicle stick to the bottom here, and then wrap it with a piece of tulle and tie it on like I did on this one right here. Oops, I pulled out the mustache. And so it looks like that, and then that goes right in the back, and that is all there is to it. That's all there is to this fun 40 is fabulous centerpiece. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you need any of these supplies, please check out Papermart at www.papermart.com. They have tulle, they have paper, they even have the fill for these mason jars. They have ribbons, marbles, glitter, you name it, and the prices cannot be beat. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.